Hello, today is 28 July 2022. Let's start the meeting. Kubebuilder, control runtime, and the controller tools. Please don't say nothing that you don't want to be for the all posterity in the internet, right? So the first thing that we usually do in this meeting is we try to speak about has someone that is new here, has some new face, has someone that you'd like to speak and to share, introduce yourself. No. So you consider that no. So let's move forward and let's go for the items in the agenda, right? So today the students will demonstrate their project. Both are alpha plugin versions. So the idea is that they did the project. The project is in the master, is an alpha version. So that is an initial implementation. And then now they show demonstrated for you folks here. Also, the idea is like we do a new release, share this with the community, and then get the feedbacks. So we can improve, we can add other features and check how we can better address these needs, right? So the first one is Tony. You just click here. If you don't know, he will present the Grafana plugin. The goal of the plugin is helping people that is exporting the metrics, and you wanted to use the metrics that are exported by the manager in the Grafana. So do you like to share your screen, Tony? And also, would you like to speak a little bit about yourself, do a small introduction? Please feel free.
Okay, sure. Yeah, thanks, Camilla. Can you give me the admission to share the screen? Thank you.
Go for it.
Cool. Okay, so hi everyone. So my name is Tony, and I'm currently a university student studying for like computer science. And I was getting lucky to get admitted by the Kubebuilder project in this summer for the GSOC project. And I'm currently working with Camilla and Rashar on developing the Grafana plugin, which is a pretty new one. So the attempt for this is we're trying to simplify the process for users to visualize the running status of their operators. So they don't necessarily need to do the invention or the creation of the manifest on their own, because sometimes maybe like the people from different teams might have like duplications on creating the panels, because some panels might be in common. And so the other attempt for us to create this plugin is also, so like things like by default, the controller runtime has provided a rich number of metrics for different perspectives, which is pretty good. So when you go to our documentations, so you can see that in the metrics references, you can see that there's a lot of numbers of metrics that being provided by default from the controller runtime. This is a good thing. So also we think that maybe for some author of the operator, maybe they don't necessarily need to get that much familiar with these default metrics. Also, they might need to learn too much of Prometheus, like the syntax of the PromQL or the functions. But they do have the same like expectations or the attempts to see what's happening to their running operators. And so if our plugin can directly bring them the manifest of the Grafana manifest, and they can directly import it into their own website UI, and they don't necessarily need to do the learning things. And then they can directly see what's happening for their, simply see what's happening to their operators. So ultimately, we hope that our plugin can help users to visualize the status of their controller, help to improve their controller to make it more easier, more safe, more robust. So that's the basic idea, the original idea to introduce this Grafana plugin. So I'm going to give a very brief showcase of the current usage of this plugin. It is not very complicated and it's pretty new, so it's in a very early stage. So the basic usage of it is to trigger by the init subcommand or the edit subcommand. So as the definition of these two subcommands, by init, it means when you initialize a new project, you can introduce this Grafana plugin, and then you have some manifest given by it. So similarly, if you have the you directly have an existing project, you can use the edit subcommand, and also with the plugins attached, that you can have the dashboards. So here I'll give an example of using the plugin in the Memcache Operator, which is a sample under the Operator SDK. So here, I'm gonna bring this to the very order. So since this Memcache operator is already an existing project scaffolded by Operator SDK, we can use this edit subcommand with to introduce the new plugin. I'm gonna do Kubebuilder edit the plugins, and then you would have the a Grafana folder inside the project, and we give the JSON file, which is directly the manifest of the Grafana. So here we have the control resource metrics JSON file and the control runtime metrics JSON file. So indicated by the name, so they're like trying to give the dashboards for different aspects. One is the resource, one is the runtime. So I'm gonna copy the contents for one of them. So here I'm gonna copy the runtime metrics JSON file. And then in my Grafana, I can just directly click the import and paste the content of the JSON file. And I can choose the relative folder for it. So here I just simply use the operator ops availability, and I'll choose the relative data source, which is Prometheus, and then import it. And now we will have the panels for the status of the Memcache operator. So I can switch to different time period to see what's happening in history. So as you can see, in the current status of the plugin, the runtime metrics JSON file will bring you two raw. One is the reconciliation, one is for the work queue. And in this reconciliation, we simply give the total count of the reconciliation and the error count of the reconciliation. And in the next row for the work queue, we bring 4 panels. On the left side, we give the statistical result of the seconds of the items stayed in the work queue before they're being requested. And alternatively, we also give the seconds of the items get processing by the work queue. And on the left side, we have the add rate for the work queue and the retrace rate inside the work queue. So that's basically what the control runtime metrics JSON file can bring you about the status of your operator. And so we can do simply the same things for another JSON file. I'll quickly do the showcase again. We'll just copy the contents, this time the resource. And then, sorry. Again, we can click the import and paste the content of the JSON. And similarly, we choose the folder and select the data source and click import. And now we have this new dashboard, which is the control resource metrics. And basically, you can see that we simply bring the CPU and memory usage of the operator. So similar as like similar as the previous dashboards, you can click the time range to see what's happening in different time, and that's all. So that's basically the thank you. So that's basically the current usage of the plugin, and so we have a currently running PR for the dashboards. But that's exactly what is the output I showed previously, and we have some ideas. It's like we want to we'll hope to bring more panels that for different perspectives, because sometimes users may want to see different aspects happening for the operator. But we currently just bring those simple panels because we also want to receive the feedbacks from you and the community to see what kind of metrics is on the highest priority, especially in the case that the current metrics given by control runtime is pretty like a pretty number. So that we want to see like what is the most important one, so that we can bring in the plugin to show. And also in the previous one, in the current status, it's like we try to separate the panels into different dashboards. Also, we try to separate the panels into different roles. So we also want to see like if different dashboards is what you expect, or you think that the role is good so that we can have those different panels integrated into the same dashboard, but separated by different roles. So that's the basic idea that we would like to see what you and the community want to see. And yeah, that's the current things. That's all I can have for this. So if there's any questions, or if there's something that anyone want to talk about.
I'd like to say that your demo was very nice. I really like it. And I really like it, the Grafana plugin as well. It'll be very cool. One thing that we can share is that you reach out to the author, the user that opened the issue, right? And
Yes, yeah.
he was looking for something like that. He was needing more or less his exactly metrics. He has some few ones that is extra ones, but he probably doesn't attend everybody. So I think he will also be very pleased to check these results. Anyone
Yeah,
would like? Sorry, go for it.
Yeah, so I guess like I guess that's Robbie that has previously pretty supports me for give me some references. So this also helps me to bring these panels to this plugin. Yeah, and also like previously, like we've for some brief discussions, like there's like a couple number of like dashboards or the panels we can actually bring in the dashboards. So basically, I think that we can actually import some of, or try to introduce more like panels or like different metrics. So like one thing as just been mentioned is like, I kind of like, I was not quite sure like what kind of the metrics is on like highest priority, so that we can introduce. So because like on the other side, like if we do give more panels into the dashboards, like say like 10 panels in the dashboard, maybe it can be a little bit overwhelmed, because sometimes like when users visualize, go to the dashboards, they might want to get the direct info of the panels, not like to find something inside the panels. So that's kind of the trade-off that I was thinking of. So yes, please.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
very great. Yeah, go Varsha. Varsha, Jesus, Lex also say the same. That is great. Everybody like it too much.
Yeah, I felt this was a really nice demo and introduction to the plugin, and we are looking forward for users to try this out. And just as a request, if anyone on this call deals with Grafana or needs metrics for their plugins or would even like to try this out, please do try this out. And we are really open to feedback on which, as Tony said, which metrics are important, or how would you like to see this in the UI. If you prefer two metrics having having in the same panel to give a good understanding or difference on what's uh, the issue with the controller not running or with the reconciler errors. We'll really appreciate that feedback to incorporate that in the plugin. So yeah, just an ask to try this out and give us your feedback. But great work, Tony. This is a good, amazing plugin which will definitely be useful to anyone using Grafana or using the controller runtime metrics. So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anyone would you like to make questions or speak more about that? No, that's fine. So now we can move it with Tony. With Tony, with Nikki. Sorry. His plugin is the idea of his plugin is the scaffolding required to deploy an image and operand. So it's very common scenario, like when people, I want to create an operator to manage SQL, for example, let's imagine it. So the SQL is the image, right? Is the operand. So his plugin, you inform the image and then you do the scaffold about the controller, the tests, and that plugin just not to help people to speed up, but you also help people understand how to get started with the project, how to do finalize implementations, how to work with status conditions, and all these common questions that we usually have. Uh, Nick was facing some problems, but I don't know if he's online. He was trying to fix his computer. I can, so I don't know if he will be able to show. I will just try to share my screen until he come back. So can you see here the documentation about the deploy image plugin?
Yes.
Yes. So just to give you a small idea until Nikki be able to come back. He's trying to fix his laptop. Is like, for example, here we can, when we create the API, we will inform in the case of the Memcache, for example, we inform the image, right? So we can also have some options. In this case, in the sample has all available options. That is, I want to reconcile this image, so I will create a deployment for this image. And in the pod, I want to configure this commands, and I want to use this port, and I want to run with this user, right? And you inform the plugins. If you don't need these extra configurations, you only inform the image and the plugin, and then the scaffold will be done for you. So you can check this document that it has the proposal, how to use, and also for both scenarios, if you check here, and Kubebuilder as well. You check that now in the master, we have the samples. So for the Grafana, for example, if you came here, the Grafana, you can find the files here that are merged in the master. And for the deploy image, you have, for example, G sample. So if you look here in the controller, for example, you check here that you have the reconcile. We have the marks, scaffold, created with the plugin. We have the status conditions implemented. We have the finalizer implemented. And we have here the deployment as well, implemented. Is Nick back? I don't know if he come back here. So you check the other files, like for example, we are scaffolding the tests using env tests here. You can check the API that it has the types usage. In this case, is only the size. We are also putting the marks to demonstrate how that works, and the status conditions as well. The other thing that is scaffold is the image that is stored in the manager by envvars. So you can check here. In this sample, we call the command twice, one to scaffold the main cache and another one to scaffold the busy box. And also you can check in the samples that, for example, for the main cache, we have the container port that can be configured by the CI and the size. And for the busy box that we didn't provide any option of that flags, we have the size. And all with the to-do users, also in the code, we put all links about the documentation, about the reference, so people look on that. But it would be very nice if Nicky could do his demonstration. I'm just trying to do an overview to see if he is able to sort out his problems in the computer and show for us. I don't know if he come back. Okay, he didn't come back. I told you for him, if he be unable to sort out the problems, you postpone his demo for the next meeting, no problem at all. I just also would like to show, because that allows you folks in the same way, test, verify, give your opinions, provide your feedbacks, because the idea is for both plugins. The students provide an initial version, so that we want to do a release, we want to publish this release, and ask from the community what they think about, how we can improve, how we should grow the plugins, right? What is good, what is not. So if you check and find any problem or have any suggestion, please open an issue in the repo, and the students will try to help out as us as well, and to try to see how we can clean that. So I think Nick didn't come back. Let's move forward. This one we postpone. No problem at all. Unless he come back. I'll put it here. Leave it here, I can postpone after. The next thing that we can do, unless the next point is, has someone that would like to bring any other topic about, that is interest for the community, speaking about anything else before we go to the triage? No? Okay. Okay. Nick told me that he's trying to fix and to come back. So let's go and we can move for the triage as usual. Let's get here the link for the triage. I think that is not search, right? We should search by the new ones, but okay, we can move it with this. Maybe it was reopened. Okay, I think it is one is just for we document and describe why set the controlling reference, right? The person is looking for that in the documentation. So I think that should be very nice. We can GG use it, for example, provide as example the plugin that has been done by Nikki. I think we have that here. Let's see if I remember. So when we create the deployment, okay, we create the deployment and okay, here we just put the set owner reference. We are not explaining how the things works. So maybe also this is something that we could suggest for Nikki, put here a comment that explain more why that is required. So the idea is why this method is required. Do I need to explain this for the audience? Has everybody here is know why we need to set the reference after we create a resource in the reconcile? So in the reconciliation, we reconcile a custom resource that is from that kind, right? So we will create like deployments, triggers, I don't know, any other secondary resource that is required to ensure the desired state to have that kind on running as we expected on the cluster, right? So we use this method to say, okay, the deployment, the service, and however is a shield, has an owner reference to custom resource. So when we delete the custom resource, everything that has this owner reference, will also be deleted by the Kubernetes API as well. The other thing that we need to use that is because the watch. So if you look here in the watch, we are watching everything that is of the kind, and then everything that is owned, which is in this case is a deployment owned by this custom resource, right? By this kind. So if you don't have the owner reference, this line will not work, and when we do change the deployment that was created in this example, in this reconciliation, the reconcile will not be retriggered by the watch feature. Is that clear? Have someone any questions? So come back to the issue. The idea would be we try to document and to make that more clear. Could you put it triage accept? Has someone any objection? Any questions? Someone, would you like to work in this one? No? So let's move for the next one. Okay, the next one is plugin phase 2, meditation. We created this because to achieve the goal, we have many tasks, right, to do. If you don't know about the phase 2 plugins, that is Hashimi here? Should you like to speak, explain about this one?
Hey, Camilla. Yeah, I'm here. So, yeah, phase 2 plugins is about enabling external plugins in Kubebuilder. So phase 1 and phase 1.5 achieved extensible CLI and scaffolding of plugins. But so far it was limited to like internal plugins and also allowing chaining of those internal plugins. So phase 2 is mainly about discovering and using these external plugins, which are also referred to out of tree plugins. And these plugins can basically be implemented in any language. And phase 2 achieves both like chaining and discovery of these plugins. And the main motivation is that the source code of these plugins don't have to reside in Kubebuilder repository anymore. So I think by achieving this, I think the plan was to convert like the declarative plugin in Kubebuilder to convert that into an external plugin. So far, what we have is we have an implementation of the phase 2 plugins, and we are working on, I think, testing and documentation. And I know that Rice had a PR recently for the sample external plugin in Golang that serves as an example of an external plugin.
Okay,
So I think what's remaining on this is, yeah, just the documentation and end-to-end test discovering and using the sample plugin.
yeah, I think, yeah, we need to add the sample. Has a pull request for that. Bruce has been working on that. Then we could add integration test to ensure that the CLI can use create the binary of the sample and then can use the external plugin to do what the plugin does. It's with a very small check just to ensure that the implementation works. And the other thing, we need a documentation as well. So I think we can put that triage accept for don't come back. Let me know if someone has any objection. Also, have any person a question about what means phase 2 plugin, how that works, what is the idea? If someone also has interest to work in this one, can ping Hashim, Bruce, me, or just, try to make a comment here, and we can, by sure, provide extra information to let you know how you can contribute for we achieve our goals.
I have like a very basic questions here.
Sure, go for it.
So like, what is like this external plugin and what is this used for?
Okay, I can show for you. That is good, right? Because we have here plugins, right? As the plugin that you engineer has been working, right? This one. So these ones, we need build the Kubebuilder, and then we ship the binary, the Kubebuilder binary. They are inside. But many people has ideas of their own plugins. I can use the Kubebuilder because the Kubebuilder is also a library, is also like can be also imported in the project, and then I can create my own plugin. And instead of I put my plugin here, I will use the Kubebuilder commands to use it is my own plugin that live in another repository that is not officially maintained by the Kubebuilder project. Right, can be something that is specific for your business, like you have a company and you build many projects, many operators, let's imagine. And all projects that you build has the same feature, has the same requirements. You can create this plugin that you go there and is a helper and you do the scaffold on top, for example. Can be used.
So does that mean like I can import the Kubebuilder in my language project as like a library, or?
Yes, you can create a new project and you show, because others also maybe has the same questions, right? So if you came here in the plugins, right, you check here that you have here the informations, how is the plugins, how you use the plugin in the CLI, and then you have here create your own plugins, right? So basically, it's exactly the same way that you did in the tool, but you would do in another project. You create another project and you use the Kubebuilder as a lib, and you do exactly more or less the same way. So if you check here, we indeed need to update this documentation as well, like a plugin phase 2, because the API implementation is done, and what is missing is like documentation, samples, and integration tests. So for example, SDK is a good example, like if you check SDK use Kubebuilder as a lib, and you do the Golang scaffold. And you also use, for example, the customized plugin to do the config director. So they have Ansible, they have other plugins that is to work with Ansible and Helm language, and they use a Kubebuilder to do the basic implementation, and the SDK only implements what is specific for their plugins. So we also can have like many other plugins, these plugins that you did, right? The Grafana one. We could decide that it should live in another repository, for example, right? In the Grafana plugin repository. And it be something that is no longer shipped with Kubebuilder itself binary, but you can go there, download, and use with the Kubebuilder CLI in the Kubebuilder project. So you would be using the same way, right? You put Kubebuilder init plugin and you put the Grafana plugin. You would do exactly the same way, but you would need to configure that where is the binary, where is the executable of the Grafana plugin, because the Kubebuilder itself would no longer have that.
I see. So what is the mean by like supports different languages? Because like as the example shown in this website is like,
Okay,
am I
cool.
also need to write the Golang?
Okay, Kubebuilder itself only scaffold projects that people will create their operator, their manager using Golang. If you go in SDK, for example, you see that they have the samples here. They have the config tier, that is the customized plugin.
Yeah.
But they have this stuff that is molecule, that is for tests in Ansible. They have the playbooks, that is an Ansible thing. And their rules, like, so instead of they implement the project using Golang, they will implement the project using Ansible. So for example, if you came here, you have the things, this is an Ansible rule. For Helm, and they have also Helm. So for example, Helm has the same thing, right? It has the config that is exactly the same way the Golang one, because it's the same structure, came from Kubebuilder, is the customized one.
Yeah.
Then you have the Helm charts instead of having Golang files.
I see.
So your Grafana plugin, you can basically write it in a different language and then make use of Kubebuilders like init, create API, and create webhook subcommands to scaffold data, basically.
Cool.
Yeah, the Grafana one, no matter the language it works, right? Because no matter you work for everybody that you work here, that use SDK and using Ansible or Helm to build their projects as well. Because here you have a new director. If I use your plugin to enable the Grafana stuff here, I will have a new dir here with the Grafana files. So doesn't matter if it's Ansible, if it's Helm, or if it's Golang, because all are using control runtime behind of the scenes. The implementation of Ansible and Helm operators behind of the scenes, how they work, they have like an image as well that it has more or less the Golang implementation of the manager. It's not exactly, but you use the control runtime as well, is exporting the metrics as well in the same way. Behind of the scenes, that is abstraction that the end user don't see. But if, for example, the Nix plugin is Golang specific, right? Because it can, the idea of his plugin is scaffold the code to deploy, to manage a operand, a image, when you use the create API. So that you cannot work with Ansible or Helm. But we could have something similar for Ansible and Helm. We could have a plugin that when we use the create API and to inform something that like an image generates all Ansible files and all Ansible molecule tests to deploy and manage that image on the cluster. Is that make sense? Can we move forward or more questions?
Yeah, that makes sense. Thanks for the explanation.
No, that is good, because sometimes people can be shy and don't make the questions. And I think okay, it is a triage, but the idea of the triage is we share, is we discuss the issues, and also we share knowledge, right? For people, I want to work with these issues, so I can go there and I can take that. So that is also important. We share our knowledge, we discuss, and we understand how the things are working to see how we can contribute with the project. Otherwise, it'll be very boring. I don't know, maybe, I don't know. Please feel free, people, to do the feedbacks if you're preferring another way. We can also change, but it's like accept it and deny. Like, I don't know. I think maybe it's a good opportunity for discuss and share. Let's move forward. I don't know. I didn't saw this one. I think I saw this one. Okay, I didn't test this one. If someone has time to do that, but the idea is if I'm not wrong, they have the project scaffolding normally. Then they have the API, and then they want to generate a model from the API, but then controller gen doesn't work if I'm not. I think controller gen is the first one that you fail and you not work. So that is more or less, for example, you have here the project, then you have the Go module here, right? They want to create a Go module here inside of the API, so they can, for example, export that and use the API in another place. Only the API. I think that is the request. So what we need to do here is like investigate, like try to do what they want to do, better understand the motivations, and then see what would be required to do to achieve this goal, to support this as well. And I think what that you fail is like when you make a manifest, if you have the goal mode there, the controller chain, you fail to generate the manifests. So then probably we need to see what we need to change. For example, in this case, describing the issue and see if we can contribute with the controller chain, do the change, see if it has other points as well that you would need to change to support what this customization that they want to do. Maybe this is more controller chain than Kubebuilder itself, but I don't know. I didn't try. I didn't POC this one. I don't know if you have, we have like a needs just needs investigation, something like that. Heavy needs information, right? I don't know how we can label this one. We can put it triage needs information. I don't know if and you put a comment about that. We need to try to reproduce the scenario. Check if the problem is not that the controller chain doesn't allow you not to work, you'll fail when you put the goal mode inside the API or not, and see what places we would need to change to try to support this. What do you think, folks? Questions? No, nobody. Yeah, nobody think anything. So what I do, I think I will leave this one for the next meeting. We can. I will try to also investigate more. And we have only 6 minutes, right? So what we can do. Usually we have another item in the agenda. Release plan. We probably need to discuss about that. We put in the channel. I think we have a lot of things. We need to do a release plan. We need to do a release. I don't know. We probably need. So if you have any issue that you think that should be in the next release, please ping us in the channel and to let us know, because we'd like to do that as soon as possible in order to show for the community the new plugins and also ask for feedbacks. I don't know. I think it has more than one thing, right? The last one is if someone would like to bring something for another project or raise any other questions. No silence. Nobody wants to raise nothing. Okay. So I think we can call a day in this meeting and finish the meeting, because we have a a short time, and we can continue in the next one. Really thank you for the attendance. Really thank you for all help and support. Once again, really great job, Tony. That was amazing demo. And it's that. And for the next one, you'll have the next demo.
Cool. Thanks, Camilla.
Thank you,
Sounds
folks.
good.